I I grew up here in Texas. I went to school, and my plans were to work in the aerospace business in the late '80s, and I found myself going to work for the Ben Hogan Company here in Fort Worth, and now 35 years later, I'm still here in Fort Worth and still making golf clubs. So what a great company that I started with. Mr. Hogan said had such a tradition of, great golf products, and then, he worked for other companies. We did some consulting work throughout the industry for a certain number of years, design work, doing work for tour athletes for a lot of brands back in those days. And then that company merged with Nike Golf, which is where I met H2. We call him H2. And we worked with Nike until a few years ago. And Nike decided they didn't want to make golf equipment anymore. And I decided that I wanted to continue my path, my tradition of golf club making here in Fort Worth. So we made a deal with Nike to buy a lot of their equipment. And here we are today. We started as a custom putter and wedge fabricator, and now we're moving forward with some iron products and have such a great group of customers and people that, we're associated with globally. It's been fun. I've very much enjoyed watching Artisan grow to where it is today. I met a man at Ben Hogan Company that worked with Mr. Hogan for many, many years. His name was Gene Sheely. He was the master model maker at the Ben Hogan Company. And he inspired my career probably more than any other individual has influenced he was a brilliant golf club designer. Tour players loved Mr. Sheely. He showed me a lot of valuable things that I've never forgotten some of those things, and I've kind of taken that and taken it to a higher level throughout my career as technology has allowed, and working with athletes. But his relationship with Mr. Hogan was very strong. So that influence that I gained at that company has always been very valuable to me. I found the passion for the work. I love making golf clubs. I have, and I still absolutely love this work. I love the creation of working. I've worked with R&D for a lot of years, and I've also worked with some of the greatest players that have ever played this game. And I think that the influences, I brought a lot of tour feedback, good player feedback to, and investing that in the product development and building great products for many, many years. I worked with Gene on some iron projects back in those days, and it's just he was always very concerned about the design of the irons being consistent as a set. He influenced me greatly in that, from the standpoint of the performance of the sole designs being consistent, turf interaction, the importance of the shapes and what they really, and how they influence a player's confidence. The Ben Hogan brand represented a level of quality and the influence. Clubs are always influenced in certain ways by, the people that are involved in the development, the athletes that have maybe, been involved in the development. And my position many times has been to fill in that gap between what the player needs from a performance standpoint, the look, so that we get the product right, before we start to move the product to the marketplace. So we worked after we were notified that our positions at Nike were, going to be coming to an end. We worked in this facility for many months with an exit plan, which involved taking care of a lot of the Nike Tour athletes with product, so they could until they could find other products to play. And during that time, we started talking about, purchasing the equipment. And, my partner, John, is a very, very strong and very talented putter fabricator. And, so we kind of, through conversations with each other, we kind of inspired each other. And a friend of ours came up with the name Artisan, which I think is a great fit for this company, because the people here, we're artisans. We build very custom products. And then, with working with Hero, we were able to, develop some manufacturing partners so that we could begin, our wedge business, which has been very, very good. And it's built, our customers are very important to us. The quality, objectives, and performance drives everything that we do. And it's been a great journey so far. I feel very blessed because of the way things have worked out. I have a number of former Nike employees that work here with us that have so many years and years of talented performance, and for us to continue to work together in this business is it's very special to us. I have been a club designer for many years, but I feel like my passion, what I really enjoy the most, is working with my hands on this product. That every day people give me such great comments about how well they love the tools that we create for them here. I would consider myself a designer and a fabricator of the best golf tools that my knowledge will allow me to deliver. Grinding to me is, I would consider it, it's like art when you're doing it correctly. You cannot paint a picture without having a vision of that picture in your mind. When I pick up a raw forging, before I grind it, I see what I want to achieve so that I can execute, whether it's geometries that I want to achieve for the sole of a set of irons or a wedge. But I really have an appreciation and a passion for creating shapes in the parts that I grind that I think the player, the golfer, can appreciate in the transitions of the leading edge to the hosel, the profile geometry, how it blends to the hosel. There's a true art in being able to have that vision and grind that part exactly like you want to give it to someone so that they can be proud of it. For many years, very closely on iron and wedge product. Initially, it's such a performance game. If I look back on the process of working with him, what is important, I feel like the weight in his heads, the distribution of the weight was very important as far as Tiger has incredible feel. And I believe that the feel of the product is very, very important to him always. We developed a look that he appreciated very much, but I think a lot of the influences that he had on the product that we created for him was about something that may be most hard to define in golf, and that is feel, what the player feels as they strike the ball. I see there are some current problems with a lot of the wedges that are on the market. We test with them all the time. My vision for when a wedge is correct or the set of wedges are correct, they bring a balance to the performance part of someone's game. And to expound on that is that a lot of our wedges, we utilize them in short game around the greens. We use the wedges to hit our approach shots to the green. And a lot of the product is a little out of balance from an ability to perform well in the various places that we need to utilize the wedges, especially sand wedge and lob wedge. And we've worked very hard to do some things with our wedge heads and the way that we build them in order to bring a feel for those parts of the game. And it's working very, very well. We've gathered a lot of comparison data, and I've been doing a lot of wedge fittings with a lot of different levels of players, tour athletes, beginning golfers, and we've recognized what those assets are as far as how we bring, and a lot of that, the build is important, but the turf interaction with wedges is very important because on a lot of the golf shots, the club head speed is much lower than irons. Therefore, we need very clean and precise turf interaction so that we don't, at the lower club head speeds, we don't get a disruptive turf interaction that affects the control of the golf ball on those shots. Because of the way we manufacture product at Artisan, those are the foundation of where we begin. We make additional adjustments to critical things based upon the feedback that we get from our fittings with athletes. Sometimes we may adjust the shape of the leading edge, or we may change the bounce on the bottom of the wedge to affect the leading edge height in order to bring that balance. And sometimes they're very small adjustments, but they're very critical in need, and they result in greater performance balance for each individual customer. The balance, I believe that the ball striking the sole of the wedge, it's a given that we must have the correct shaft and length and lie angle and, the loft for the launch. But I've noticed over the years fitting with people how critical the sole geometries are in the work that we've done for a long time in order to develop these grinds that become such assets to people. I've seen product designed before with intentions of delivering a given performance asset of the wedge. Let's say specifically, this wedge works great in a bunker. Okay, but do you pitch well with it? Can you control the trajectory on approach shots? We look for the balance. We want to have acceptable, strong performance in the various places that we can influence someone's game without having a disruption in one area or another. I think we've seen product before that is, okay, wow, it does this very well, but it does not perform well in another area. And I feel like the wedge game, it is important because of the creativity of the shots that we need to perform. We need to bring performance balance. They have one performance asset, and I don't feel like that's what I want to provide. We have to have performance. We must remember that people develop their skills with their ball striking and their confidence. The tools that we provide them have to elevate their confidence and their skills. And if I build you something that you're like, okay, we don't want to be in a bunker, okay, but we must be able to play out the bunker. But I want you to be confident when you're not in the bunker that we can still execute great pitch shots, great chip shots. And I think it's a failure if we create a problem to solve a problem with this game. A little different. The performance assets of the irons, we have to have the feel. I'm always excited to develop products that people tell me, oh, Mike, these feel so good. And part of that is so related too. When the turf interaction is perfect for a player, it enhances the ball strike as far as how it feels. Irons, the head, but a lot of it is so influenced by how the head enables the shaft to work correctly for each individual player. Soles, we look at them different from the standpoint as we do wedges. We want clean turf interaction, but there's some things that are not as much required with the irons as compared to the wedges. I want our new irons to express many years of addressing what we feel like players need from a performance standpoint as the game has evolved. The golf balls are different today. We've modernized the tools somewhat, but with still the foundations of what great golf clubs always will need. A really clean look that people can appreciate. Feel and performance is most important, so that we bring the correct performance assets to our customers' game. but I'm really excited about this particular product right now from a few assets that I will share with you. I've had some very, very talented players test these iron products, and the feedback that I'm getting that makes me very happy at this point is that everyone has been very vocal to me about how good these irons feel to them. I've always felt like the Japan manufacturers have a very high level of technology as far as the forging process and how that process influences the feel. My confidence has always been very high with the Japan forging manufacturers from a feel perspective. My confidence in general has been high for many years, and it's very notable. There are other brands that are spoken of, mainly Japan manufactured brands, that have great feel because of the technology being utilized in the creation of the forging, the tooling, and the process is very enabling of that. Process, and we have to utilize a process that we all know working with a manufacturer. It's just getting the manufacturing assets in place, the accountability in place. We have to know, we've been very successful with this testing. We're getting great communication and feedback with our manufacturing partner as far as the expectations of controlling the shapes. The investment of technology into these iron products is very high. Some early manufacturing right now, some what we might consider some pilots to gather some information as far as where our manufacturing is from the standpoint of its consistency. Okay, once that is evaluated, we're going to continue to evaluate some things. I'm going to get probably some more product brought in here also for us to test and validate. Once we're in that place where we feel good about, I know everyone involved expects very, very high quality with this product. And when the team, everyone agrees that we're in that place, then we will begin to manufacture and deliver product. But I've learned from past mistakes working with, some of the companies that I worked for over the years. If you want to do it right, then what is most important is doing it right, not letting a schedule force you to cut a crucial part of that process. We want to make these irons, and we want to make great artisan product for a long time. And I really believe in the investment of getting the product right so that we can move forward and we're not backing up trying to fix a lot of things. This is a different one than the last one. This is we refer to this model currently as half muscle back, very much influenced by the consistency of these two products. Very consistent in shape. Therefore, if we see the required assets for a set, do like we have many times in our careers, where we may be able to blend these two designs together to build the perfect set of golf clubs for our customer. Another iron. This iron, I think, is very important. I've actually have been very impressed with the feedback that I've gotten from. I think that too often in the market today, we look at it cavity back golf clubs as being game improvement, or I don't know how to define how I feel about the term game improvement in the market today. I'm a little confused, because a lot of the products that I see that are maybe called game improvement, they really do not enable someone to improve their game. They do not have the feel, and they do not have the consistency, so that if you want to be a better golfer, you have to become a better ball striker. And the feel and the way that the product provides you feedback will enable you to become a better ball striker. Therefore, you will become a better golfer. We need to understand when we do not hit the product well if we want to be a better player. And I love this iron from the standpoint of what I think it's going to bring to not beginning golfers, very talented golfers, from the standpoint of how it with the just like the other two products, the feel, the look. So many people have told me for that type of product how much they appreciate what the product looks like. Tour players even. So I'm very excited about that. My anticipation for this third iron is it's growing very rapidly right now. For our artisan army in Japan, to begin to experience what we've worked so hard to create. So many people have put so much hard work into the new iron product. I'm excited for. I believe that the player in Japan has a unique expectation of how the product really looks, and I think we've captured that with this product. I think it sets itself apart from a visual, even though our intentions are to deliver incredible performance. But I believe there's a very much a balance there that our customer in Japan will recognize, as compared to the expectations of certain quality things in the Asia market. Mm-hmm. I couldn't wait to get here this morning and visit with you guys. COVID has made our business very tough. Anticipating an opportunity for us to travel again, so that I can come to Japan and work with H2, and I'd love to have some opportunity to visit with some of the media there about what we're doing at Artisan, and express our appreciation to that market for what we've done here, because without the customers that we have that recognize how hard we work on this, that's what would be disappointing. And I want to make that trip, and I want people to understand how proud we are of our manufacturing partner and our customers in Japan.